Welcome to this video about BI Metrics. In this video we would like to talk about how to choose the values in a KPI. If you look at a system like this one here, this is a boiler, then we know that the supply temperature that comes out of the boiler is the main output of this boiler system. So we find the output up here. So in this case this is the temperature. So this is the main value. Let's call this the vertical value that we need in the KPI. Now we also know that boilers are being controlled depending on the outside air temperature, and we have that here too. So if we would like to create a KPI for the boilers, then in this case we would take the value from those boilers, put that on the vertical, and take the outside air value and put that on the horizontal axis of the KPI. And we take a margin of about plus or minus 5K. What we can also do is consider filtering on heat demand. And that means if we take these 3 points, that we have the entire KPI set up. Now this is just one example. Another example could be if you have a heat or a cooling group. The same story is applicable here as well. So we have this system and it's designed to put water of a certain temperature into the building. And we can measure that temperature here. And that also means that in the same story like the boilers, we have an outside air temperature as a reset. So we can take these two values and put them in a KPI. Again, you can also use filtering, and the filtering in this case can be done by the pump. Now how exactly filtering works is going to be explained in another video in which we talk about how to create a KPI inside the BI Metrics system. Another way to look at the system is to measure the room temperature. In this case, this is the value that we can then put on the vertical axis, but instead of the outside air temperature, we measure that room temperature against time. So that means on the horizontal axis, we don't take a value, we take time. And in this way, we can see how accurate this room temperature is being maintained over the reporting period. And another example, for instance, is an air handling unit. An air handling unit, of course, is designed to put air from a specific temperature into the building, and we can measure that at this sensor. Same story here, we have an outside air temperature which is related to that supply temperature of the air handling unit, and we can put those into a KPI. So as you can see, when we create a KPI, we always use the main value which comes out of the process and put that against another value which is related to that main value of the process. Now there are some other examples which we will show you in the other video that I just talked about. And again here we can also put the fan in this case, but put a filtering and using the fan to do that. Now if we take an example for a building, in this case let's say we have a building that consists of 4 parts, A through D, and then in each of these parts we have 1 or more heating groups. And then let's say we have a central location, and on that central location we have 4 air handling units, namely 1 air handling unit for each of the 4 building parts, and we have a boiler system. Now if we would like to turn this into a system within BI Metrics, then it would look something like this. Each of the controls or each of the system have their own KPI. And in this case, that means that you get a lot of KPIs, but you can make it a bit smaller for the user to put various KPIs. Let's say the KPIs for location A, the 2 heating groups together with the air handling unit A into a KPI set. And you can do that for the rest as well. So in that case, you will have 5, or I should say 4 KPI sets and 1 KPI, because the boiler, which is a generic system, supplies everything. So that means that the summary of this is you have 13 KPIs, 4 KPI sets, and 27 data points in BI Metrics. When you create a KPI or various KPIs within BI Metrics, I think the one most important thing to remember and understand is that if you have a building that has various installation parts and equipment, then you will take the main output of that equipment and you put that into a KPI. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.